Hello, my name's Plywood, and I will be your pilot today for Steel Battalion on the original Xbox. As you can see, we have a controller deck and 3 pedals below. So we have pedal cam and controller cam. We have 2 levers, gear shifter, around 30 buttons, 5 switches, and a whole lot of love. And this is the wonderful game that came out in 2002 only on original Xbox. There was also a multiplayer game called Line of Contact. One thing I do want to ask before we start is, my co-commentators here, which I really do need. Chef Tig is here, who is the other runner of this game. Hi, Chef.
The only other runner.
Yep.
The only other active runner.
The only other active runner of this game. Today, we'll be doing a run of Campaign 2080. That's the first campaign on New Game. So we're going to enter our pilot name here, which I think we know what that is going to be. Calithon. And today's date is the 4th of April 2020. That's how old we are. Keep in mind we are 60 years old according to this birth date. All right, so let's just jump into this. Time starts when I select rookie difficulty in 3, 2, 1, go. And welcome once again to Steel Battalion. Chef and I, along with Talaris and Sheepdog, have worked on this route for Campaign 2080 New Game. We are going into the first mission, which is a tutorial level, where we're thrown into the seat of the Decider mech. And I flipped my switches a little bit too early. That's okay. You can just flip them back and try again. Every time we start up our mech, we have to go through a process of pressing the cockpit hatch button, closing the hatch, flipping the switches, turning on the operating system, and then hitting the start button when all the little bars go past the line. There's going to be a lot of explaining we'll have to do throughout this run, so if you're overwhelmed, it's okay. I was overwhelmed the first time I got in the cockpit seat, but you're just along for the ride. You just have to take out. Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick. So you guys are going to see a bunch of elements. The cockpit is very, very involved. The 2 things that you want to pay attention to right off the bat are in the bottom left side of the HUD. You're going to see 4 orange lights. Those are the health for the mech as of currently, and we faded to white already, but you're going to see 2 arrows to the top or bottom of the targeting reticle. Those are your indicators for range. As they close to the left side, that is your range on your main weapon. As they close to the right side, that is your range on your secondary weapon. Yep. If you do not have in range, your shots will not do any damage whatsoever.
Yep, you have to know what the effective attack range of any weapon is. There's a lot going on the UI, the HUD. So another thing to pay attention for is the screen the elements of the screen will start turning red when we are getting a shot coming at us. So when that happens, we have to move out of the way. This game is way more strategy based than like a high octane, fast paced action. You have to plan your movements out, plan how you're going to approach each situation, etc. So the other thing you'll see, or rather hear, is there will be a beep, 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 beep when an attack's coming at me. That's another indication for me to get out of the way to not get hurt. This is the first mission of the game outside of the tutorial. We're storming the beach, and we have to take out 70% of the opposing forces.
One thing to note, you talked about getting out of the way. You'll see on the screen there are 3 pedals by Plywood's feet. On the rightmost pedal, which he pretty much always is gonna have floored, is the accelerator pedal. The middle pedal we don't really use that much because we're speed runners and we go fast. So
yeah, we don't
that's
hit the
brake.
Hitting the brakes. We're not. If I'm gonna slow down, I'm just gonna let my foot off the gas pedal.
And then that leftmost pedal there is our slide step pedal. That's going to let us slide to the left, right, dash forward, or if you throw your gear into reverse, it's going to let you slide back. Speaking of gears, the mechs do have a 5-gear gear shift on the. It's hard to see from where we're looking.
Yeah, it's on the edge of the console, furthest away from you folks watching at home. So. I will be shifting gears throughout the whole run because just like in a car, you have to accelerate. If you're on a hill, you want to go into a lower gear, stuff like that.
Also, speaking of acceleration, you're seeing Plywood use the plasma torch. Now, the plasma torch is a very strong weapon. It is a melee weapon, and it pushes you forward. It jets you forward every time you pull the trigger on it and you go to use it. So you'll see us using that for speed strats to keep momentum going and to keep us moving across the map as quickly as possible. The only downside to this is there is a battery level that needs to recharge after every 2 uses of the plasma torch, and it does use up fuel, and fuel is a concern in this game. So in early levels it's not as big of a concern. In later levels we will need to be careful of it.
That's right. And just taking out these Vitzes, Vichis, Vituccis. They're the VTs that we're fighting, and they're gone. Mission complete. That was pretty solid. Even though that's mission 1, it's actually a little bit tricky since we're in this Decider mech, and it's not this best mech in the game. We'll be using multiple mechs throughout this run. They're called vertical tanks, so we use VT for short.
And Vitch is VITZH, so it's they can be a real Vitch to get through, and if they gang up on you, but they're really the weakest mech in the game. So
I always flip my switches back after doing the startup sequence. You actually can't do that in the multiplayer game Line of Contact. If you do that, your whole VT shuts off and you start starving yourself of oxygen, but in the single player campaign we can do that just fine, so I prep myself for every startup sequence. So this stage we need to climb a hill and take out 3 vortex VTs. The hardest part of this mission is really the turn at the hill, and Chef Tig can explain a little bit on the issues with turning and the gas.
Well, so one of the things you got to know about this is, like we said, you've got your gear shift, which is going to determine your speed, but if you have your foot on the gas and you turn too hard, your mech will tip over, and you have to be careful not to tip the mech. So you'll see Ply pulling his foot all the way off of the gas. If your foot is off of the gas, it does not matter what speed you are currently going, your mech will not tip. That's just how they coded it. One thing to note, Ply, I will be donating $10 for every time you tip the mech.
That's an incentive to fail.
That's
very kind of you. All right, guys, let's see how much I can fail for charity.
So I am looking in chat. You cannot play this game on a regular controller.
Not possible.
It is not possible.
Not
it is completely impossible.
You can't even You can't even go past the main menu, the start menu, because you have to press a button on the controller deck. Oh, I'm on fire. Surprising. I had to use my extinguisher button. Alright, so one little technique I'm using right now for these vortexes is a technique we call clip dumping. It's something that the multiplayer uses quite a bit. Yeah, there is a multiplayer community for this game that's still active to this day, but so...
Shout out to the X-Link Kai community.
Yeah, shout out to the X-Link Kai community. So whenever you run out of ammo in a clip, you have to use the magazine change button, which is on the center block here. And when you use that button, you actually you can fire again immediately. So if you don't care about the rest of your clip, you could fire, magazine change, then fire again. So you can pump out damage really quickly. The problem is that you'll run through ammo really quickly because you
lose out on any of that ammo that was still in your clip. We're coming on into mission 3 right now. This is a straight run. You're going to see Ply really not shooting too many mechs. The idea of this mission is you have to get to the communication tower. Well, the end of the mission occurs when you get to the communication tower. So fighting things isn't, we want to go fast. We don't care about supply points or command points as much, which is some currencies that you can get in the game. So you're going to see Ply running straight there. Now, the important thing is to get across this bridge really, really quickly, because if you don't, the bridge detonates and dumps you in the water, and you're not watertight, and you can't. You'll drown.
Yeah, there's no boat VTs in this game. Oh, we should explain how death works in this game.
Yeah, that was gonna be
probably the most infamous aspect of this game, aside from the controller, is that there's an eject button that's covered by this little plastic right here. Now, if you lose all your HP or you fall in the water or whatever, you have to eject. You have to eject from the VT. If you don't eject from the VT, that's game over. And game over in this game means your pilot is dead. So the game
deletes your save.
Permanently deletes your save. Now, if for some reason that happened during the run, I could still finish the run with free mission. But yeah, that doesn't happen. But it is very amusing that the game just does not care about your feelings at all. And there's the tower.
There's the end of mission 1. One other thing to note is we are coming up into one of the 3 hardest missions in the game. This is mission 4, the battleship, where you have to sink their battleship. That's right.
Yeah. That's right.
This mission was considered for a long time. We've streamlined this mission quite a bit. In our routing, we used to hide behind an indestructible building and pop out and take on the battleship. We discovered that taking it on head first from a slightly different angle is far more effective than trying to hide and all that.
Yep, we want to get right in front of the boat. And if you're wondering what I just did, so I added a weapon to my arsenal, the same weapon I've been using, which is a twin-shot rifle, and I removed my sub-weapons to reduce my weight, because you have to come under a weight capacity to deploy with any mech. Every mech has its own weight limit. So that is what we did, and I also equipped the most important thing in a marathon run, which is the tunes. So we got our boombox going. We're playing some soy sauce, which is my favorite track. There's several tracks you can play through your boombox. And of course, they're delightfully tinny because it's like a cheap old boombox, very old antique thing because this is the year 2080.
This is what they imagined 2080 would look like in about 2001.
Yes, this is what 2080 looks like. Look forward to huge vertical tanks driving slowly across bridges.
So some fun side notes. I can't talk today. If you are interested in this game, please do check out the X-Link Kai Steel Battalion Reddit and Discord. If this is a game you think you'd be interested in, there are resources to get you hooked up with a setup and to find a setup. They can be kind of expensive. I'm not gonna lie. They can go average anywhere from about $100 to $200 still, but it's totally worth it. It's a lot of fun, and the community for the online game is a lot of fun. They're great people.
That's right. We just had a very good set of luck there with those scare faces. They moved to the side, which is what I want to see. I bought some supply drops just in case things went wrong there, but they were being nice to me, which is great, because that means I don't need to call in for supplies here, and we'll be able to go fast. And I'm sure that's what we all want to do here, not have to wait out for the supply chopper to come, give us some HP and fuel and all that. So the boat itself is a bit scary, not necessarily because of the boat, but the VTs that are defending the boat. We have to be very careful about their shots, so I'll be paying close attention to the radar on the top to know when I need to dash out of the way. So you have to be very careful about your positioning, your timing with your dashes so you don't run out of battery, and also the water, because if I run into the water, I
can't
fall
tell
on
you
the
how many
ground.
runs I've had die because I dodged wrong and fell into the bay.
All right, here we go. Serious time. Danger zone.
To destroy the battleship, you have to take out the piloting station. You have to take out the three main guns, excuse me, and basically do some more damage to different areas of the boat. You'll see it, and then once you do destroy the actual boat, it has about a 15-second destruction animation that we have to wait for before we get the mission complete on this. If you're wondering where his health is, on the bottom left side, you're going to see 3 little dials. Those are actually his fuel gauges, but right above those are currently 3 little lights, and those are going to be your health indicator. It's a lot to take in. One of the most important things is, as silly as this sounds, is reading the manual. You have to read the manual of this game, and it is a 8.5 by 11 size, standard paper size manual that is something like 50 pages long. So, yeah, it can be fun. The one thing we got to be really careful of while we're waiting for that boat to destroy is that those mechs that are coming in from the Plywood's left right now don't fire and kill him. And great finish on that mission.
Thank you. Yep, we got through it. That is one of the scariest missions in the run, so it's nice when it goes well. Now we got access to Generation 2 mechs, and we got some new features, and we have a super fast VT we're going to be using called the Blade. It's a lightweight mech that has excellent acceleration, and of course we get this cool, awesome new operating system with a whole new HUD. There are 3 generations of mechs. We will not be seeing Generation 3. You do not have access to that on a New Game run, but on New Game Plus, you go to town with some of the best mechs in the game, the Gen 3s.
Yeah. You will note that some things have changed on the HUD. It's a little bit more streamlined, a little bit neater. And we're on mission 5. Mission 5 is gather the crates. So there are 3 trucks sitting in the level. You need to run up to them. You need to pull out your manipulator arm, and you need to pick up a crate. Using this manipulator arm is probably one of the hardest things in the game because it's really finicky. You have to be very precise with it.
Yep, you need to be very mindful of when to let go of the gas. Thankfully the trucks are always in the same locations, but positioning yourself properly can be I hit the tower. That's okay.
Yeah.
The positioning, it's sometimes the hardest aspect of this game is knowing how wide your VT really is. Because what we're seeing right now, folks, is a monitor. We're watching the world through a camera, various cameras, since the hatch closed. So we have to not just think of the camera, you have to think of the VT itself. Did I hit like a building? What the hell made me get out of here? Come on, let's go pick up this crate.
You stepped on somebody there.
There's something.
Lag reduction is kind of a thing in this game. Mind wandering. There's a bit of you'll notice lag. There's a lot of lag in this game. There just is, and occasionally in certain missions we can destroy some units to reduce that lag, but for the most part it's not worth it because aiming is hard.
Yeah, I mean, this game has some technical limitations. This game was originally in development for the PS2. This is by the development studio Nudemaker, who the director of this game was the director of the Clock Tower games in the 90s. Interesting transition, of course. But they knew PS2 just wasn't going to cut it. They needed more power, so they brought it over to to the original Xbox. You know, the game does slow down, but it's honestly to your benefit because, again, like I was saying at the start of this this run, it's more of a strategy game because of its pacing. You know, it's much more tactical. It's not supposed to be this twitchy kind of play style. Though some levels, we're not going to see it, but the last level of this game on the 2082 campaign has really bad frame rate. They like threw way too many enemies and all that fun stuff, but for the most part the frame rate stays fairly steady. Anywho, mission
6, which is what we're on now, is the recon mission. So you need to you're looking for a factory, you need to find the factory and then retreat out of the level to a certain point. Fuel management is incredibly important in this level. One thing that we have not mentioned yet is that the Generation 2 mechs have an overdrive where you can kick it on. It keeps your battery power at full all the time, so you can sidestep all you like, but it burns fuel like it's nobody's business. So you have to be really careful. And
that's
and that's $10 from me.
That's $10 from Shadow.
So yeah, this is the level where I will probably lose the most money. One thing to note is you actually don't take damage from tipping your mech, but it can be really obnoxious. And
I mean, it could lead to damage.
It can lead to damage.
Timed tip over could kill you in this game. This is definitely the Dark Souls of mech games.
Yes.
I'm not even saying that as a joke. I mean, it's one of those things where you need to know what the layouts of the levels are, because sometimes the game can be really cheap and like say, oh, here's this enemy hiding behind this door in the corner, and then they're going to plasma torch you and kill you in 2 seconds, even if you're at full HP. Even on rookie. Rookie.
Spoilers for... Stop spoiling the next level, dude. Yes, so we've reached the factory, and we don't have to respond to it, but we do wait for a call from Argus. Argus is our command unit, and then we run like heck because a whole bunch of very strong mechs pile out of this factory after us. So we need to get moving.
Yeah, we gotta get out of there. That's actually a good place to farm for command points, is that factory entrance, because they spawn infinitely, but we're not farming for points.
Yeah, command points and supply points determine your rank in the game, and they determine your ability to rebuy or buy mechs and supply drops and things like the boombox.
Oscar 3 here.
So pretty solid turn, pretty solid finish. Fly's coming down on about 30% fuel right now, so he's got to watch it into the end of this level. Whether you're in overdrive or not, third gear, we were talking about the gears earlier, third gear is your most fuel efficient gear, so occasionally it does help, especially in this level, to go just a little bit slower so you actually make it to the end of the level. If you get stuck, you would have to call in a supply drop to refuel you, and that's a lot of time lost.
Yep, so you just want to be careful with your fuel consumption. And now we're good to go into overdrive, into the end, and we're good. Very nice.
All right, mission 7 is the factory. So we found the factory in mission 6. We return for the main night mission in mission 7, and my goodness, this is pretty much the scariest mission of the run, especially for Marathon.
Yep, the reason being that this is the longest mission in the game, and we have a boss we have to fight at the end of it. And since we go into the factory, we can't actually call for a supply drop once we get into the factory. Once we're there, we're there. So you need to be prepared and ready mentally, physically, emotionally for the factory. But careful planning is everything. Yep, yes. We fought a boss earlier, the boat. We consider that a boss since you have to defeat the boat to finish the level.
There are 3 bosses in the game. There's the Mission 4 boat boss, there's the Mission 7 mech boss, and then there's the final mech boss at level 10. And we'll be getting there reasonably soon.
Would we be able to get in a station?
Yeah, absolutely. We got some time. We're just driving.
Okay, so we first have $5 from Mr. Shasta, who says, "Isn't there a dedicated windshield wiper button? Can we get a windshield wipe for every time somebody donates $5 during this run? Like, right now?"
Boom.
We also have $25 from
Ooh,
Innocent.
I think that means I have to do it 5 times, right?
I think so. Who says, "Never seen a run of this before. Looks awesome. Thanks everyone for pulling this together."
Thank you all for donating to get the controller cam going. It was very, very appreciated. Do we got any more?
No, but do want to mention that we are working to bring money for direct relief, and here is why we want to do that. They are helping with coronavirus relief efforts worldwide and bringing PPE to medical workers across the United States and all over the world.
Coming up right now, you just saw I take out a mech that is pretty much our first major wall of this level. A lot of it's running up until this point. This Jarlac, which is the name of that mech, can be a little finicky, little tricky. It can be kind of hard to see in the level. Ply knows the level well enough to not use night vision, which is an option. It's your standard green night vision, so it can be kind of hard to use or not. But he stepped past that Jarlac pretty nicely, and we're moving on a pretty good steady pace.
Yeah, the annoying thing about this canyon area is it's really easy to run into the walls, and then you'll know if you run into the walls, you'll hear this like grinding noise of you not being able to progress forward. We're also using the Asmus, which is a fire and forget homing missile. As long as the enemy mech doesn't use chaff, and as long as we're far enough away, it's going to destroy most mechs very, very quickly. And the mechs that don't get destroyed in 2 hits from this thing, they'll get knocked down. And if a mech gets knocked down, they're in big trouble.
One thing to note is that you are piloting a vertical tank, so they are somewhat tank-style controls. You'll notice that Ply is using the left joystick there to determine direction. That joystick only moves left and right. That right joystick is going to be the aiming joystick, and that will move in pretty much, we'll say quote-unquote 8 directions, but omnidirectionally. And this is what we were talking about the Dark Souls moment of this game. You'll notice that dead mech just to the side, and you open this door and surprise, you have a little friend.
Yeah, we're going to knock him down with our plasma torch and then just leave him behind because we don't want to fight him.
For him to stand. Yeah, waiting for him to stand up also takes more time than it's worth.
Yeah, we just have to make sure he's not in our way. And now for the hardest bit of movement in this game, no joke, it's operating elevators. We need to get just in and stop. Come on, where's that angle? All right, I'm just gonna dash. Okay. The goal is to stop just in place as you enter the elevator, use the tiny little manipulator arm, and turn on the elevator. The real challenge of this game isn't the enemy mechs, it's operating equipment to transport ourselves. Also, I just want to give you guys an idea. This elevator is probably like, I don't know, 100 feet tall or something. It's huge. Absolutely huge.
Coming up on the 2 bridges section of the of the factory, also known as "Don't be this guy."
Don't be
You're
this
gonna
guy
see
right here.
Don't be this guy. You'll see that friendly mech there, and yeah, you don't want to be that guy. It's not fun. He gets blown to pieces, and we do want to take out the smaller giraffe units that are across on the other bridge. The giraffes go down to pretty much one shot of any weapon, but man, if you let them gang up on you, you will take some severe damage, and we don't want that. So as he's walking forward, Ply is shooting at the giraffes, trying to take out all 6 before he makes it across. Looks like he did. Yeah, he took them all of them out. So nice job there, buddy.
Thanks. Yeah. Those little giraffe units, they're basically glass cannons. If they hit you, it's like a VT hitting you. And if you have 5 of them hitting you at once, your HP is going to go down super quickly. So it's very important that we do that drive-by on those giraffes. You don't want to drive super fast. You want to pace out your driving so you can time your shots out properly with the little holes in the bridge. And now we're going to approach the second and last elevator, thankfully, of this stage. So while we're doing that, if there's any donations, it's a good time.
Yes, we have another $5 donation.
Ooh.
We have $5 from Copper Tank that says, "Love you, Papa Ply. Have an ice cold RC Cola."
Thank you, Copper. I will. Love you too, man. I have to find my RC Cola stash.
Also, just want to mention while we're stuck in this elevator that this is not the only controller cam incentive that we have in this run. We also have controller cam incentives for Ring Fit Adventure to see the rudder actually running in place as quickly as possible, and also the Super Mario 64 dance pad runner cam where the speed rudder will actually be played Super Mario 64 as fast as possible on a dance pad. So
Well, I know where my fall money is going to be going.
Yeah, there you go. More controller cams, folks, for the good of the controller cam.
So we are coming up on the boss of this level. He is a Jarlac unit, but he is a Jarlac S, I want to say, whereas the other ones are a Jarlac unit N. He can be really nasty if you give him a chance to. We used to sit back again and try and pick him off, and then we discovered, hey, you know what? That plasma torch is amazing, and 2 hits from the plasma torch will drop the boss. And so we basically open the door and then dodge around a few of his shots and then bum rush in as quick as we can to try and hit him with the plasma torch. Once you get close, his AI gets a little iffy sometimes, so you'll see he'll hit with the plasma torch and then he'll sometimes look away. Unfortunately, he decided to pull out the flamethrower, but that's okay. A second shot of that plasma torch will drop him, and then we have that nice death animation that takes a few seconds. If you do let that fight go on, the lights do go out. It makes it hard to see, and he also has his own melee weapon that will grind you to pieces in pretty much one hit.
Yep, and that's why that fight can be scary. But we got through it, and now we get our new toy, the railgun, which is by far the strongest weapon in this game. No question. It will absolutely decimate most mechs in one hit. And the mechs that don't get decimated in one hit, well, they're going to go down. They are going to get knocked to the floor. At that point, they're easy pickings for us. So we are going to play with our new toy as these mechs are retreating from us and get used to it. This is the easy mission, but this is followed up by one of the more trickier missions in the game, Mission 9, where we're going to be fighting some serious mechs. Yes,
so Mission 8, like Ply said, is pretty much a gimme. It is hey, we just gave you a brand new weapon. Go play with it. So you'll see Ply being able to just pretty much steamroll. I think it's something like 9 mechs or so.
6
mechs?
Yep.
Since this is such an easy mission, we've got another $5 to wipe the screen
nice.
down again.
Done and done. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. So I was trying to aim my railgun at one target, and it actually went by that one and hit the one behind him. That was pretty incredible.
Unusual and fun. The railgun does have a very, very long range, pretty much almost infinite as far as the weapons go. One thing we didn't mention is that this Artemis missile system, the ASMIS, does have a long range, and if you get too close, it will not lock on and it will not damage. So you do want to stay fairly far back with the loadout that Ply is currently using.
That's right. And now we are entering Mission 9. And we have to fight against Regal Dresses, and they are the most dangerous mechs aside from the final boss in this game for this campaign. They have some pretty nasty attacks they can do against you. However, they have a very useful tell that we can use against them to get easy railgun shots on them, which I will be trying to exploit during this mission. It's like Mission 1 where you need to take out 70% of the opposing forces. In other words, we just got to take out a bunch of them. This mission used to be the hardest in the game, but it's become easier over time, thanks in part to the ASMIS and smart routing of what mechs we do and do not need to take out.
It did take us a while to figure out solid routing on this, because this is a very, very large map. And there are mechs absolutely everywhere. And figuring out, we did figure out, and we're still not completely 100% on it, but certain mechs are weighted more heavily towards that 70% than others. So the ones that we want to take out absolutely first are Scare Faces and Regal Dresses, and after that would be just about anything else like Vortexes and Vitzes, which are the other mechs you'll find in this mission.
Right
that
there.
Regal Dress.
Right there, I used free aim instead of lock on. Regal Dresses will typically dodge out of the way if you try to lock on with the railgun. They know what's happening. There's a very bright blue light. They know they have to get the heck out of the way. So if we free aim it, they're way less likely to dodge. And you just got to get up close and personal.
The railgun does have about a half a second charge up time before the shot goes off once you pull the trigger. We are actually able to use that to our advantage and use it against the mechs that are like the Regal Dresses that tend to dodge shots, in that we can free aim onto the mech, pull the trigger for the railgun, and then activate the lock-on, so the hit is almost guaranteed to hit, and because we are basically going around the AI of their dodging, the hit is it is more likely to hit. Excuse me.
Yeah, so the tell I was talking about earlier with the Regal Dresses, they will steady themselves when they're about to fire a homing missile attack, and when they do that, we can get a guaranteed railgun shot. So he just did it right there. I just have to deploy my chaff so that the missiles don't come and hit me, and they're all dead. That was really good. They were very compliant. Enemy AI in this game have basically two modes. They're either compliant or they're not. And sometimes they are just like, yeah, man, I'll take it. Whatever, it's fine. And they gave me fantastic luck right there with their behavior.
That was very smooth. Ply did call in Wagon Master, who is your supply drop chopper. He in this mission, Ply is only looking for an ammo refill, which occurs instantaneously once the chopper reaches you. If you're looking to refill your health or your fuel at all, that does take time, and you do need to sit there and wait for the chopper to refuel you. But since he has enough fuel, he can just, as soon as the chopper touches him, reactivates his ammunition, he can just keep on going.
Yeah, it's really nice that ammo is just given to you instantaneously, because that's all I need here. So, and this group is even easier than the last one, because they are moving forward and we're coming from their back, so they are completely oblivious to us, and because the Asmus is so effective at long range, I don't need to really do all that much. Oh, this Regal Dress actually chaffed my Asmus, though. Oh, he dodged. Well, this guy's a tricky customer.
He chaffed your ass, miss.
He chaffed my ass, miss. All right, he's down for the count, though. And now we just have to take out one last little group over here of some Scareface and 2 Vitches. And remember, folks, Vitches be Vitches. They are going to go down no problem to the powerful railgun.
Yes. And that was actually an incredibly smooth Mission 9. That was really, really nicely done.
Yeah, I really couldn't ask for too much more in a marathon run. This run's actually going extremely well. I haven't even really needed to use any backup supply drops. So we are coming into the last mission of the run, Mission 10, the Capitol Shootout. We have to go to the heart of the enemy's capital, destroy the presidential building, and then fight the big, bad juggernaut, who is the big old boss of Campaign 2080. And it's also the mech we use in the New Game Plus run, which it is by far the most overpowered mech in the game. It has the highest weight limit. It turns like a go-kart. You can carry 2 railguns on the thing and still have room for some more. Yeah, it's a beast.
It's a little OP. We're not gonna lie. It's a little overpowered. It's part of the reason I actually like New Game as opposed to New Game Plus runs, because you only really see one mech in New Game Plus, whereas you do see about 3 mechs the way Plywood does this in a New Game run.
No, we will not be fighting the president. This is not Werewolf Chaos, but in the second campaign, Campaign 2082, it ends with you, killing the president of the opposing forces, who is the person that started this whole conflict in the first place against the Pacific Rim forces. The story really doesn't matter all that much, folks. That's why we haven't really been talking about it. You know, big mech, go fast, vroom, vroom, shoot, shoot. So, this is the capital city, and we just have to drive our way to the Capitol building as fast as possible.
We do have to be careful with our routing. One new thing that they add in this mission are traps, and if you trip one of these traps, which are sitting across some of the roadways, it will shut your mech down completely, and you will need to do a startup sequence with everything except for closing the cockpit. So that can be really obnoxious. But we have routed it so that we really don't run across any of those. You are able to shoot them, but given that we equip this mech with only Asmus and railgun,
we really don't want to railgun the trap. So
the traps.
You can, but it's a huge waste. You know, you don't have a lot of ammo with these weapons. Now we shift up the hill, and now we railgun the presidential building. It has no defenses aside from all the regal dresses that are hanging around it. But we come from the back, and we're all safe. 3 shots will do it, and now the Juggernaut's deployed.
And again, initially fighting the Juggernaut we thought was tough, but then we realized you really just got to get close pretty quickly and just start unloading from a distance, especially when you have a combination of that railgun and the Asmus. So just do what you can, and he goes down pretty quickly. He takes the hits pretty quickly, and then you usually have to wait for his destruction sequence, which unfortunately takes a moment or two.
Unfortunately, he's being pretty rude right now. Huh? Yeah, he's going away from me, which is not what we want to see. Did that not hit? Man, he's walking away from me. He doesn't want to fight me. Oh, this is ridiculous.
I mean, can you blame him though? Can you blame him? You've been wrecking single man wrecking everything.
Now I'm in a dangerous situation because he is way off in the distance, so now I have to get more involved than I'd really like to. We're getting into, this is what I was talking about. Sometimes they're compliant, and other times, like, where are you going, bro? Where are you going?
There's the stadium. He wants to catch a game, man.
And he's chaffing me. This is interesting, folks. I've never really been in this situation before, so
There's that marathon. You were doing really well. Had that marathon luck had to come in somewhere, man.
Oh gosh, yeah, those big red dots. You don't want to be in that. Pro tip. Oh gosh, it's very possible I'm going to die here, folks. Because marathon luck. This is supposed to be the safe strat, by the way.
Yes, you can. We go around the back of the buildings. You can charge in from the front. Ply
It's not a good idea.
Experimented with that strat a little while and discovered, yeah, that's not how we want to do this.
You're basically running into the full force of the enemy. Very bad idea. Gosh, stop chaffing me. Be compliant.
Keeps chapping.
Oh
chapping
gosh, he's trying to torch me. You're on a hill. You can't torch me. Oh, brudda.
Oh wow.
You can't. I think he just did that to ruin my range on the Asmus. Well, now I gotta eject. I mean, I was expecting this at this point, but come on.
Yeah. Wow. So you will note that Ply, in that situation like we talked about earlier, if Ply did not hit that pop that eject cover and hit that button, that would have been permadeath for this pilot. You do have a wall where you can look at all your dead pilots who have died in the line of the Pacific Rim forces, but yeah, that was kind of unexpected.
That was unique. So there is another strategy that I chose not to use here that involves using the plasma torch on the Juggernaut. It's very effective, and you can kill the Juggernaut very quickly, and also allows you to plasma torch your way through the city. The problem is, if you miss, you're pretty much stuck in the middle of like 5 very strong mechs with your pants down, and you're just gonna die. So it's better to be at range, but the Juggernaut decided to do what it did. We'll try again. Hopefully this time the Juggernaut won't drive away. By the way, I'm very sure that if that didn't happen, this would have been record.
Yeah, if if it wasn't for that I was watching your time, that was going to be record if that hadn't happened, unfortunately. But just like that, that's how this game can go and wreck you real quick.
Yep, things can go wrong very quickly in this game. You always look so cool until things don't go your way, but that's all right. How long is the window to eject? It's like
it's about 4 seconds.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 5 seconds or so. It's around there. It's not. You don't have to do it instantaneously. They give you a moment to eject. As long as you see the flashy lights and you're at 0, you have enough time. Some people actually leave their lid open. I keep it closed, not because I think I would accidentally hit it, but if something were to happen, then it's just going to hit the plastic and not the button.
Yes, because I've totally never had my cat try and climb on my controller in the middle of a run.
Yeah, that's a good example. Very good example.
I actually did lose a run to that one time where my cat was like, "Hey!" and he stepped on my eject button, that's why I stopped leaving my eject cover open.
Yeah, and you have enough time. It's a very quick motion to flip the cover and press the button. Also, it's very satisfying when you do so. So feels good.
It does have a nice little click to it. Yeah. That's the one thing I gotta say is this controller, like besides being absolutely ridiculous, is a lot of fun to use. if you do find yourself at one of the PAXs, PAX South, PAX East, I do know that they bring setups to the game room there. So if you're ever interested in at least putting your hands on this and trying it out, you can absolutely do that at the PAX.
Hey, he was actually compliant. Thank you for standing still.
There we go.
See, this is what I'm talking about. It's either it goes great or it just goes tails up. So time's coming up when you see mission complete flash on screen. That means it's time. We just have to wait for the Juggernaut to explode very slowly. I'm gonna drive off into the sunset like
every
professional VT pilot I am in time.
Yeah. Well, neatly done, sir. That was, if a little unfortunate, that was still a very, very solid run. And one last note, guys. I mean, we've routed this the two runners who play it can. We took the world record time from 109 to, I think we're down to 43 minutes now, 44 minutes.
Yep.
So there's still more that can happen with the routing of this game. So we're really, really hoping to, if you know a friend who's got one of these tucked in a corner somewhere and you can get it off of him and you're interested in running it, we would love to have you, or we'd love to have you come play multiplayer with us.
Yep.
On the Excellent Kai group.
That's right. So I'm going to do a few quick shout outs to conclude while we listen to this wonderful credits song. So shout outs, of course, to Chef Tig for doing the commentary and coming out here. Really appreciate it, man.
You're very welcome. I managed to get here after my hospital visit where I found out I have kidney stones.
Yeah, he please give this man a round of applause because he went through the pain to come to this run.
To make sure I could help commentate on this.
He's really contributing to the war effort here. Of course, shoutouts to the Steel Battalion X-Link Kai community who are still burning the midnight oil on the multiplayer, which is a whole different beast compared to the single player. Shoutouts to Talaris and Sheepdog who have contributed to the routing of this game. And of course, thank you to all the wonderful people who donated to get the controller cam. I hope it was worth it because I know it was worth it for me. I love being able to show off this game, and it's been a really wonderful journey of routing and improving this run specifically. And for those who are wondering, have I done runs of the second campaign? Yes. However, I overall think that the first campaign is more entertaining to watch because the second campaign has some auto-scrollers. So
and to be fair, the second campaign is a lot of the same maps. There's 2 new maps. It's a lot of the same maps with different objectives. So it's kind of meh.
It's mostly variations on the same theme. We have some new maps, and the final boss is a massive beast. That part's entertaining, but overall, Campaign 2080 is a better introductory point to this game. And if you're still overwhelmed and confused, don't worry. That's where everyone starts with this game. It's like learning how to drive a truck. You know, you got all these different mechanisms and buttons, but the reality is, even though there's a lot of buttons on this controller, there's a core set of buttons that we use throughout the run. Most of the buttons are for kicks or very specific situations. Anyways,
I mean, yeah. What can you say about a controller that has 5 switches that you use once a level?
Yep, and a controller that requires its own table. You really want a table for this, by the way. I am going to turn it over to Cosmic, and I want to thank Cosmic for hosting this run. I know we had a lot to say. There's always stuff to be said about this game. So thank you very much for having me on. And if anyone wants to watch future Steel Battalion runs or all the other games I run, because I run a variety of games, twitch.tv/Plywood_. Thank you all so much for watching.
Being here, that was such an excellent run. Thank you so much, Plywood and Chef. That was quite a fun thing to see. I'm looking at the schedule, and I do believe that Lap Mackie is supposed to be coming in and taking over hosting, but I do want to read out the one donation that we got from Wandering Mind before I get off. That was $5. Glad to see this game being run. Thank you all for the event during these times. Thank you, Wandering Mind, and thank all of you for sticking around.
And thank you, Cosmic. My name is Lat Mackey, and this is Calithon Coronavirus Relief. Thank you all for being here. What an awesome run. That was so cool, actually getting to see the controllers and all that kind of stuff. And we have a block coming up for you. First off, next is Bucky O'Hare, run by Junkyard Dave. And folks, this is going to be one of the most challenging speed runs you may have ever seen. It's an insane run. Super excited that Dave's going to be running this here in just a sec. But before then, we have plenty of opportunities for a lot of donation incentives still available to you. Taking a look here at the polls, and Super Metroid Save or Kill the Animals is only separated by $5 right now. You can be the deciding donation if you get that in right now as we scream our way towards $3,200. We are right now at $3,167 raised, all in an effort for coronavirus relief and supporting Direct Relief's efforts in that. We also have coming up, just Elrock real quick here is coming up with the Simpsons arcade game, and you get to choose the character choice. Right now, Bart is in the lead. If you would like to see somebody else other than Bart get those donations in, and we can see that, we can have that coming up here. So a little bit about Direct Relief, which is what we're raising money for right now. Direct Relief is a humanitarian aid organization active in all 50 states and more than 80 countries, with a mission to improve the health and lives of people affected by poverty or emergencies, without regard to politics, religion, or ability to pay. Direct Relief earns a 100% fundraising efficiency rating from Forbes' Tops Charity Navigators list of 10 best charities everyone ever heard of, and is named among the world's most innovative companies in not-for-profit. One of the really cool things about Direct Relief is that every dollar you donate, 100% of your donation go towards Direct Relief's mission. And in this case, we are actually donating towards COVID-19 relief. Really cool. If you're curious about what Direct Relief is doing for COVID-19 relief, well, in the U.S., Direct Relief is delivering protective masks along with exam gloves, isolation gowns, and other protective gear to healthcare organizations across the country. Globally, Direct Relief is also staging personal protective equipment with regional response agencies across the world, including the Caribbean and South America through the Pan American Health Organization. Really cool stuff. Every dollar you donate goes towards those efforts. Seeing Ply still in the chat. That Steel Battalion run was so awesome, Ply. Thanks so much for showing it off here and helping raise money for a great cause. Hope everyone's having a good Saturday in the chat. See Teddy, Elrock, Captain Hanzo. So much fun actually seeing the controllers and what they're doing. Pretty cool stuff. So we are still getting everything ready here for Bucky O'Hare. Still in the setup phase, but that gives you more opportunity and more time to get your donations in here as we move our way towards Junkyard Dave's Bucky O'Hare run and then Elrock, the Simpsons arcade game run after that. And Jeff, what's up, man? How you doing? Hello, everybody. This may have been read, but it's worth repeating. Chef Tig donates $10 and says, here's my $10 for Plywood's tip over. So a couple more donation incentives we still have going on. We have 4 hours and 30 minutes left for the Ring Fit Adventure Runner Cam. For those of you who have played, or maybe you haven't played the Ring Fit Adventure yet, it's really challenging and it gets you to sweat. It's a really fun game. So if you want to see the runner cam go along with that, that sounds like a ton of fun. That incentive is still available, and we also have in 9 hours and 7 minutes left on the Super Mario 64 Dance Pad Runner Cam. That sounds awesome. Let's hit that one. That's a big one, and both those incentives are still available here for you to make your donations count. Oh, I don't want to forget Enter the Gungeon. We have some incentive left for a character choice for Enter the Gungeon, run by the one, the only Mr. Teddyruss in the chat. And right now, Gunslinger's in the lead with $15, but it's only a $4 separation to Paradox. So if you still want to make your voice heard, get it in there. Enter the Gungeon. So what do you say? Is it Gungeon? Gungan? I always want to say Gungeon, but I'm pretty sure it's Gungan. Need a phonetic spelling in the chat. And while we are still waiting on some setup, we have a $20 donation from T Murdoch, familiar name. And hyping up the L-Rock 1cc run coming up. L-Rock 1cc hype. Gun John. Okay, thank you, Teddy. I appreciate that. Murdoch, I'll also repeat that donation once L-Rock gets ready and gets his run going.